He's got chickens, and it's his obligation to make them. You know, chicken pang is where it all started for me. You know, these are nice little pieces, and they say, well, the good part is they're all done on some. I just pulled these. He does a lot of writing in the studio, and I found these writing that I asked him if I could have them and make a painting on the back of them. He said, sure. You get a 2-for-1 deal here. He goes on, he just sits there and writes the Bible down a lot. It's a book of Joel, I don't know. It's just some of his need to biblically phrase me to death half the time. He just says things to me now. He's turned into a full-blown fundamentalist. So, and then there's this one here, this came with it. He did these praying guys, which I like a lot. And they're all hanging in the studio. I found one on Etsy of a praying Duck Dynasty guy. I thought that was really cool. Amen. I find your lack of faith disturbing. This phrase came from Darth Vader in Star Wars when they were talking about that machine of theirs, that giant Death Star. He kept playing it over and over that night. But I put, boy, you're going to do some praying, and it better be good. I wrote it all down here. And then he wrote some from the book of Luke. I can't hear something written in red. I don't know. The back of a Lone Star. Genuine Christian skeptical agnostic artwork. Or joint. And then this is also another thing is that Justin made this painting. I like this painting a lot called Hands of the Dealer. And
I feel like the way that's typical. I would basically dress up like this.
It had me trying to wheel and deal with the devil, and of course it's not the devil, it's his Grim Reaper character. You know, you can't negotiate with death. To him, death is like the Grim Reaper is a big symbol in all his stuff. You can't argue with nature or God. Which I'm cool with, I don't care. Oh well. So I made kind of an inspired copy of it. And it says, haha, I bluffed him with my possum. I bluffed the devil with my possum. Or him. And there's a guy here flipping the devil off, and the devil's ready to blow his brains out, and he's getting a blowjob for some chick, and then the guy's just looking at him and stuff. And see, Justin didn't really work on this. He just inspired. I think he did a little bit, but not much. Same words I played with the devil and bluffed him with a okay. I like to get a little onion like this. Red, you need to watch and learn this. You get a little onion, sweet onion. You need a little cheddar. Hold on a second. I know Scruffy says it's a big sausage fest, you know, and I'm not. My last movie or that thing. The baby, and she started getting all riled up about that. How it's just me with mommy issues. It has nothing to do with that. With mommy issues, it has to do with just probing the mind and nature of ladies out there. And I kind of explained that in a couple of the baby video. If people have questions about what they think I'm about, just watch the baby videos. You know, I'll tell it right up front. So put it up there. So a little cheddar, so that's a good. A little meat sandwich. I think onion chips make better corn chips. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Oxire. She sent me. I sent her a painting of a shed, and I asked her if she'd put characters in it. And she sent me a painting of kind of an interior with some of her characters in it. So I just added to it and kind of threw all my characters into it. And I think it's called The Promise. What do they call it? The Promise from the Ghosts. The Promise from the Ghost of the Gossipers. You got to hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. There's supposed to be like a wine bottle here. It's poured, it's spilled. There's wine's all in the back, and you got a swirl of the characters in the back. There's a big freaking painting. For $31, it's a steal. You know? It's a gamble whether the eBay crowd actually can stomach it, buy stuff, you know. They're not so crafty, you know. I don't know. You know, let's take a little brisket. That's what I plan tonight. Right there, that little simple thing. Cheddar, some steak, and a little dry onion. Well, that's about halfway through the voyage tonight. The other half, you're gonna be getting down to Scruffy, because I've been looking over some of her videos, and I discovered some things. I want y'all to see right here.
Is that it's full of guys who are really misogynistic, they hate women, and all I can say, you know what, the only one who's ever shown me any respect is Stephen Chandler. He's the only one.
Alright, the truth. I swear to God, on this last natty light right here, that I'm going to speak nothing but the truth tonight, and it's going to be about Scruffy Jones. I didn't have to do this, but you've seen these relentless attacks, accusing me all these stuff like being a misogynist and a woman hater. Well, one more beer here, will. Let me tell you something I've learned, guys. I was a little studying those Scruffy's videos, yeah. And her videos are really particular. And you know, I've known Scruffy for a long time. And I started noticing something, like a trend in her videos. Have y'all noticed how she paints me naked? And she made this painting of, what the hell was it? It was like, the first one was that one with Bill Flowers. Remember Bill Flowers painting? I know he may not watch this video, but I guarantee his mother probably saw that, Scruffy. And I would like to have you explain that painting to his mother, what that meant. When I started realizing that, this is a really peculiar painting. You know, Bill Flowers' beard. I'm not going to talk. I don't even want to explain it. It's so disgusting. But then I started realizing this is not really about me and Bill. And then she did some, like, a couple other ones. You know, they're always dealing with my hemorrhoids or me in the shower. You know, her staring at my butt. You know, and then there's the other one. I'm getting hungry again. See, these things all have an origin, guys. I've known these girls. These ain't no random trolling girls. I just didn't step into the internet and find them. You know, Buttons and Scruffy, they're good. They're buddies. You know, we were all buddies at one time. So what happened was, what I realized, and I started talking. I called up Buttons. I said, I discovered something one night drinking. That did you ever notice how we would go to a party? We'd be at a party over at the Common Space Studios. And Scruffy would, she'd go run into the bathroom after someone, like I'd go to the bathroom, someone else would go to the bathroom. She'd go in that bathroom and come back out right after they'd go. And she'd always make these little comments all the time, these little phrases. She'd say stuff like, because she mumbles a lot to herself. She gets all drunk and shit and starts saying all kind of like, she's like talking to herself a lot. She's a very kind of introverted girl. And some of the things that she'd talk about, one of the things she'd go, oh, you got a Whopper bottom, or, oh yeah, you got a burrito butt, and she'd always talk about people's diets. And then I started realizing some things about the Woodby Island. One time she got all drunk, she started explaining, like, instead of us just making fun of her, this is some really serious shit. Literally. And so, apparently, how she grew up in that place in Washington, Woodby Island or something, they took their poop really seriously over there. So much so that families had these weird island traditions because they didn't have no fast food over there. Everything was organic and homegrown and shit. And she would say stuff like, when I grew up and stuff like that, it was like a family tradition or a Woodby Island tradition. If you're a kid, you would poop out in the yard, and you'd take that poop, put it in mix in a cotton, sew it into a pillow, and you'd have to sleep on that. And if you didn't like the smell of your own poop, well then something was fucking wrong with you. And that was a thing of pride. They had all pillows, everything was sewed in with their poop all the time, And so she took a big deal about that. That was a big serious thing. Poop was not supposed to smell rancid and disgusting. It was supposed to smell like granola or something. I don't know. So she always made these comments all the time when there'd be guys that she'd like, and she'd go in after they would come over to the Common Space Studio with the Buttons, and she would go in there, and after they would go to the bathroom, and she'd run into the bathroom, and she was smelling the toilet. And she was checking you out like the way a dog would smell another dog's ass. And she got a real good smell. She could smell like what was good and what was bad. And if you had a burrito butt or some greasy ass, fast food ass, she hated San Antonio, by the way. San Antonio was the worst. And one time she told me like, your poop should fall out of your butt like a freaking goat. Just drop out like pellets. That's impossible. And she goes, oh, shut up, sloppy. You know, and so she kind of knew. She had this whole thing about this. I remember like one time over in San Antonio, there was this guy that she liked, and she invited him over to Common Space Studio. And he was a big jockey-looking guy, and so he would like, we're up drinking late, you know, and she this guy, when he went to the bathroom, and he came out, she ran in there, you know, and she came out, and she had this look on her face like one of those cats you ever see get in catnip, you know, and they're kind of like in heat, and they go like a freaky kind of like her eyes across. She was in ecstasy with this guy, and I said, why? Because it checked out with her, you know, checked out that guy's poop smelled good for some reason, you know. And so one reason why she'd always poking fun at me, you know, and believe me, I tried getting with Scruffy, you know, many a times, but she knew that my poop, whatever it was, she was invested in it. She was always making fun of that stuff. She set up, you know, barbecue butt, you know. So fucking what, barbecue butt? And so it just I started piecing together this obsession. And then that one night that she kind of spilled the beans on us, that she was deadly serious about this. I thought she was making up crap. So she's back in her own home territory, you know. And it's just kind of like that thing. I started realizing, you know, there's like, and I started realizing just through all the damn videos. There's this video that she made, or I actually made. It's the one where she's like sitting there acting like a cow eating hay and shit like that, you know. And she always portrayed herself as this cow character. Well, you know what? I started thinking, you know, and she was you know, out in Common Face Studio. She was using the restroom out in the woods there, and she'd always brag about how she couldn't use the restroom. She couldn't poop unless she felt the tingling sensations of grass blades on her butthole. And then I started piecing it together about the Bill Flowers pieces. So that thing with the beard deal, that's something that she knows personally, on hand. Matter of fact, all that crap she done on me. That ain't about me, that's about her. And so, and that whole thing about, you know, the buttons deal. So I made a piece about this. Let me just get back to this. Hold on.